was so funny.
Oh, that is funny.
Yes, it is. We've been under winter storm advisory, and we didn't get any snow last night. We actually, I don't think have any ice really, but it has been rainy and it's so dark and cozy. Oh, Christy, yeah, I'm sure Michigan is quite chilly up there. We're up to 39, so that's pretty impressive.
Take my Dayquil here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I was so nervous last night because it was supposed to get down to like 19, and we've got that little baby lamb out there. Our sheep had her lamb. Yeah. Oh, hi, Julianne. Yeah, sunny California. That's what was so nice about visiting California, because it was January, 2 years ago now? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Julianne, 2 years?
2 years.
And getting to be, I mean, we were cold out there, but it was still nice. Hey, warmer but rainy in South Carolina. We're finally starting to feel better.
Yeah, I'm still feeling some of the effects, though. That was a brutal flu, man.
It was awful.
I can't remember.
It's going around.
I can't remember one that bad.
No. And Jennifer sent us some cough drops and oils.
Yes,
and things.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So we've been enjoying that. And I told Brandon yesterday, but this post-anesthesia brain fog is just horrible. Killing me. I am trying so hard. Do you guys remember I showed you all in it was a podcast, but I got that Christian daily planner. I don't know how well you can't really see there. Oh, kind of see it. It's just got it like engraved in there. But I got this planner. They sent it to me a few months ago, and I've been dying for it to be the new year so I could put it all together. So I sat down yesterday with it and at least tried to channel brain function. So I at least wrote some of the stuff down, but it's so hard when just that concentration and trying to get your head to do it. Connect. I need to get you guys week 4 of our contentment study so we can wrap that up, because we need to start our Bible reading challenge.
This is the first thing that you've done in a couple of weeks. Huh?
It is. Yeah.
Besides putting out that replay, I guess, today.
Yeah. But it's so hard to try to we still have a little bit of the after effects of the flu, where you're just tired and trying to get your appetite back and things like that. So today I'm just sparkling water. I'm not even a cool anything. Having a hard time drinking coffee or anything like that. So you're trying to get back to it. And then I'm oh yeah. And then there's real life stuff that needs to be done. And
I went ahead and just took a Dayquil because I'm already kind of feeling nasally. I'm I don't need a cold now. I need to go from flu to a cold.
Yeah, that won't be fun. Yeah, so I actually reached out. I've been talking with the people at the Christian Daily Planner, and I was all right, guys, we need this, but for those of us too that celebrate the holy days, to have them put in there and have planners and stuff. So I am chit-chatting with them about ideas and things like that. Hey, why don't we do this too? So I'm giving them a Heidi project. Oh, I'm so glad, Christy. Yeah, I am. I promise it's not for lack of trying. I have been trying so hard, and we have had we've had some doctor's appointments. Our daughter accidentally broke a tooth, so we had an emergency dental visit. You ended up with a tooth infection. So it's been we're trying. We really, really are trying. I promise. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sharpsburg, Georgia. Hey, hun.
Still can't get over Natalie Elevate. That's cool.
I know. Right down the road.
Are you from here, Natalie, or just passing?
She's on the other side of Asheville. Mm-hmm. Your sister's here, though, right? Is that what I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Sister is here.
That's pretty cool. We've never been there. I mean, we've been by
when
there
it was
a
Burrito
bazillion
Brothers,
times. Yeah, not the. Don't the same people own it? I think the same people own it.
The same people own it. They just made a breakfast company. But anyways, not that.
Yeah, no.
So we all. Oh, well, I am so glad you guys are here today. Please be keeping Sabrina in your prayers. She has been incredibly, incredibly sick. She has a Linville Falls. That's awesome. It's so pretty up there. Love every time we drive through Linville Falls. Sabrina, she's got a lot of really, really serious health issues. And so if you guys could just be covering her in prayer. She needs brain surgery. But she literally doesn't have, she needs to get out here so she can get seen by some specialists and into stuff. The healthcare system they have in Northern California is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, it's one word for
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So prayers for her. She needs brain surgery. She's got a few other issues that literally she's been struggling with for years, and they've done nothing to even figure it out. We've actually talked with our doctor about her and what she's going through. And our doctor is just stunned. She's stunned. She's like, how is this happening? And she also has some other things that have popped up that she's been able to get in and at least get scans for, but still, like, it still hasn't gotten results. They still can't get her in for MRIs. And she literally has spinal fluid, like, leaking out of her nose, like as if you had a runny nose, but it's spinal fluid. It's just insane.
It's part of that. What does she have? That
Chiari malformation that she has. And it's just things are continuing to get worse and worse. And so if you guys can be keeping her and her family in your prayers, it's so frustrating when you see people just needlessly suffering because of the healthcare system and the way it is. And
ours back here is incredible. We don't even understand half of the stuff that she's going through because ours is not like that. So that's why we definitely want to get her out here to at least get her taken care of. Goodness.
Yeah. And so we've been working with their family. We think we've got the housing portion pretty much secured now so that they can get out here. And so now it's just raising the funds for the physical moving of their family and pets and belongings and stuff so we can get them out here. The housing will be taken care of when they get out here, and then she can go right away into medical appointments and seeing the specialist. And she has a condition that just makes everything a little bit more difficult as well, on top of everything else that she's dealing with. But it looks like that they have some specialists near us that kind of focus with Ehlers-Danlos and stuff like that she has. So anyways, just prayers for her, because she's been really, really, really bad this past week. I feel like she's always dealing with something, and she's such a trooper, and she pushes through and does so much. But prayers for just provisions and guidance, and just, it's so overwhelming for her and her husband. I mean, she's sick and laid out nearly all the time, and he's trying to be super dad and like take care of everything, and yet they're trying to downsize their house so they can move and somehow raise extra money and all of the different pieces. So prayers for them and all of that. But then it kind of worked out because I said, well, do you want to come be my The original plan for the weekly podcast was supposed to be me, you, and Sabrina. Was supposed to be the original plan. And then it just kept not working out that way with different things. But it kind of, I thought, would be fun because next Friday is our 23rd anniversary as a couple.
Oh, goodness,
and this May will be 20 years married. Yeah. And so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing that we could get on and do. Something that I know I'm really praying about is, obviously, I love talking about biblical womanhood. I love talking about so many of these things, but biblical marriage and what to do when, I think a lot of the marriage stuff that's out there, it's lovely, it's beautiful, but what's the real life stuff when you're actually struggling and you're having issues? And you know what I mean? I feel like there's some great stuff out there, but it's okay, but where's the realistic
Hey, Tati.
realistic marriage stuff? Hey, Tati. I know. Sabrina does so much, you guys. Literally, right now, she already has, I have the 4th week of the contentment study already laid out. I just need to be able to have enough mental focus to record it. Sabrina has already laid out this entire month study. She's laid out the entire 3-month Bible reading plan. It just has to get put together. even with everything she's dealing with, right? I'm over here crying because I'm like, post anesthesia brain fog. And Sabrina's like literal spinal fluid dripping out of her nose every day. And she's like still over there putting everything together for you guys. So she's
awesome.
Y'all have no idea how much she does. And she will always be way too humble to ever probably realize it herself. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get comfortable. Stupid foot. We were up and having to move around a bit yesterday with doctor's appointments, emergency dental visit, all these different things. And so it's like, if I have one day where I'm up moving around more, the next day my foot is just like purple and swollen and throbbing. So I'm like trying not to be gross over here, but it's really uncomfortable. Yes. So I was trying to get comfy without totally hitting you with my boot. But I think, hey, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, she's such a blessing and she does so much. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it would be cool the more that we can get you on to do stuff this year, because I think there's a lot of the husbands out there that the same way, like, I feel like it's hard enough to find solid stuff for women. Oh, Shaquan, happy anniversary to you guys.
Happy anniversary tomorrow. Hey, Shaquan.
Yeah, so our started dating anniversary is next Friday, and then our wedding anniversary is in May. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard enough to find stuff for women that isn't just ridiculously cheesy or just super milky, and you're like, okay, that's great. But I mean, it's lovely and it has a place, I think, but I don't know. I'm just far more like no fluff. And I think that it's hard enough to find stuff for women, but then you try to look for something for the men and it literally doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
And I know Paul Washer and Vody Bauckham, they have some stuff, but.
Yeah, right. There's some stuff, but not much.
A lot. Not a lot.
And so I think that makes it so hard. And the same thing with marriage stuff, right? Like when you talk about it and you have that, I think all of us it would be so nice to have those married friends, right? That you can go, like we do this with Travis and Alexis, Sabrina and Drew, right? Like we have a couple and we've got some great, people in the church, but John Barnett does have a men's book and study. Like he does have a companion one. So you can find a few things out there. But there's really nothing, I don't think, like dedicated really, or I've never seen any that are really good. I mean, I've had some suggested to us and then we go through them and we're like, I don't know about that. But I think all of us, it would be nice to have those friends, that you could just talk to about the stuff and be able to look at it and be honest about, the struggles and the hardships and the things, without it having to be like weird or awkward or super. But I think, I look at Motor Racing Outreach is getting ready to host their marriage workshop at the Speedway or whatever. So I saw like an ad for it on my Facebook or something like that. But I feel like for so long, the way we've treated like the marriage stuff is just those like cheesy workshops and gatherings and things, right? Where the motivational speaker comes in and they tell their story. They're like rags to riches, right? From struggle to whatever. You get a book and whatever, but like, it's not.
There's not really a whole lot of
practical
content,
real like it's great in theory and it works really well as like
or you just hear the same thing over and over again, the same just cliche,
and you're like, okay, that's great, and it's not that there's anything wrong with that in principle, but there's just not a lot of practical, like, what do I do? Like literally tell me what to do, tell me like I'm 5. Right. So I hope that we can do more of that, because I know we've been talking a lot with kind of just this, we've had so many difficult life things going on. We've got a lot of big life things kind of like lingering before us that we're going to have to deal with. And I think that it's also a unique perspective. You've struggled with depression and anxiety our entire marriage. It's really difficult. It's difficult for you. It's difficult for the family. It's difficult for our marriage, right? They have all these pieces that are difficult, and I think just some of those, again, those are those like real factors of like, Well, it's great when everything's wonderful, but what about when things aren't wonderful, right? What about when there's struggles? What about when, when I was really growing spiritually and you still weren't, right? What about then? Like, we laugh now, but I'm like, man, if we had a YouTube channel back then, like content we would have had for y'all,
that would have been a mess.
But I mean, we can talk about it, right? We can share about it, but I feel like you don't see a lot of that and a lot of people who are willing. And something that I think was always really big for us is, even in those times when our marriage was really struggling. I mean, our first decade of marriage is a miracle, and by God's grace alone that we're even still here. But what really was always such a big factor was we were still each other's best friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking with Alexis about it the other day, and because she said something, I don't remember what it was, but she was like, it's crazy now to think about it. I never would have said this early on in marriage, but she's like, now, like, I can't think of anything my husband could do that I wouldn't still at the end of the day be like, all right, let's work this out. If he was truly repentant, like, how do we not, do this? So I think it's kind of funny to see even her now, like that friendship key part of it made such a difference.
And you got to keep working on it.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Shaquan. Yeah. So anyways, I thought that was kind of an interesting just thought. But I was going to pull up and see. I know we had a couple great questions. I'm just trying to find them. I usually do this with my tablet, but I actually don't know where my tablet is. It's like we've been...
Sorry, y'all only see about 75% of me. I'm noticing here in the camera, but it's like we're in a very cramped space here.
We're trying desperately to fit.
Yeah, can't really get any better.
Okay, how do I drive this thing? This is the type of stuff Sabrina laughs at me for, because she's like, "Do you not know how to do that?" And I'm like, "Not to the well." Questions. Okay. I thought this one, Jennifer asked this. I thought this was a sweet question. What is something that the other one does that makes you extremely proud of them?
I think you want to go first?
No, you can. You can be completely thrown on the spot.
Yeah, just throw me right on the spot. Everything. I think everything that you do. Honestly, everything here, obviously leading all these women, helping them, that makes me extremely proud, definitely. Like I said, putting it on the spot, that's very difficult. Yeah, I think obviously it makes me very proud when I see you be a mom, especially to our older, now that the girls are getting older. I know, especially with our middle and oldest, I think there's times where I'm like, oh goodness, I don't know how to do this. This getting into teenage girls is frightening. And so I think when I see you take over and, because I know how I want to deal with things, but that's not necessarily what a girl needs. And so it's difficult somehow to navigate that. So when I see you step in and do that, I mean, obviously that makes me super proud and super like, oh, thank goodness that I have that, that we have that dynamic, together where I can do what I can do, but then you step in. But obviously doing this makes me extremely proud. When you see you helping a lot of people, it's obviously makes me very proud.
I think it is interesting when we started to hit those dynamics, especially with the girls getting older, and those times where it's like, honey, you need to stop. Yeah. Just stop. And you're like, what do you mean? Look what's happening. And I'm like, yeah, but.
Yeah, there's definitely.
You don't get it.
Yeah, that's why you definitely need, it's difficult not to have, especially when you have girls, not to have both parents involved. So if there's anybody out there that has girls that don't have both parents, I mean, we're definitely praying for you. And it's not impossible. It's just very, very difficult because you have to learn how to navigate things completely different. You can't, you can't talk to little girls the way that you talk to.
But I feel like we went through the same way as our son got older, and we ran into those points where it was like, I just had to sit there and bite my tongue, literally chew through it, because you were handling it not how I would handle it, but it was what you felt you needed. Yeah. And so it was like, well,
yeah. And I mean, again, vice versa. I see you being a little bit passive and thinking that you need to push more. And then, I'm like, well, I guess I'll leave that to you, because that's where I don't know what to do.
Oh, joy. If only they came with a manual, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tachi says, oh my, I'm just getting a taste of the teen years help.
Yeah.
There is no help, Tachi. There is no help. You just got to figure it out.
But we love it. And I think the more,
I'm kidding. There's definitely things you can do.
I think when we just say that, oh, well, they just get to be like that because they're teenagers. You know what I mean? Like, for us, that was never an acceptable excuse. You're a young adult, you're growing, you're maturing. Yes. But like, you don't just get a wild card to act like a fool because you're a teen, or whatever. And I really do. I mean, while there's areas and things that happen and you kind of take a deep breath and roll your eyes, but seeing our kids, we now have half of our kids are teenagers. Travis will be 20 this year. It's his last year being a teen, but I love our relationships with our kids as they've gotten older. They're so fun. And the things that we get to do and the conversations we have and things like that has been a lot of fun. Yeah. I think for me, I know how difficult it is for you you're incredibly private. You don't like being in front of things. You have a lot of insecurities and worries and things like that. And so to see you put yourself out there, because I know how nutty it makes you and how much it just yes, your skin crawls.
Very, very
it helpful. Makes me so proud of you to see you still do it.
Yeah.
And to go out and do that. And I think we're in I know, we've been talking about this for a while, but I don't really have a problem finding things that I want to go do and I want to enjoy or feel fulfilled in or whatever. I mean, I could think of 20 right now. Tomorrow you could ask me the same question. I could think of 20 new ones. It doesn't even faze me. But for you, that's a lot more difficult. And so I'm really praying that this year we can kind of get to the bottom of, what is it that you need to do to feel more fulfilled for you? Because I know that's harder for you to think of, whereas I would just do whatever and be fine. But I'm really excited to see that happen this year for you. Yeah, eye rolls are real. Now I know why my mom wanted to pluck my eyeballs out. Jennifer. Yeah, it is funny, that difference of with their little, right? I feel like we put so much focus and attention to how to get through the baby years. And it's dude, that's the easiest part of it. Babies are so easy. Give me 20 newborns, that's so easy, right? And then you get to the other ones and you're like, oh.
Yeah, babies and toddlers are a lot more.
Yeah, and seeing, Janice brought up a great point, but girls, they do need the power that a father that follows the Lord brings to a family.
Yeah, they definitely need that.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, they definitely need that.
And it's amazing to see, we've gone through, I mean, we ran into points and I go, honey, the issue is you need to spend more time with her. Just one-on-one, you and her. And they used to have little date days and she'd go into his office and they'd hang out and do things, but that role in coming as someone who has severe daddy issues, it's been neat we're very aware of that. And it's something that we talk very openly about, right? Where I share issues and problems that I have because of my deep-seated daddy issues. Our kids this past year.
You have a lot.
Yeah. The kids this past year with just family events going on, got to see firsthand just how awful it all is. And so I think, but being transparent and honest with our kids in that, I think really was such a teachable moment, though, to show through the things I've had to go through. This is why we do things this way and why
they definitely live a different life. They don't live the life that you lived. So
thank goodness, right? But they get to see why and why we've really tried to make changes and go a different direction and things like that. Because and seeing like our oldest, he just finished writing his first full book, and we're getting it formatted now to go out to be published. And I just finished reading it. That's what I spent like last week doing. And we're finalizing editing and stuff. But I kept telling you, I go, the first draft of the book that he showed me, I was proud of him because it's my son, right? He did a good job. And that's so great to see this kid that he overcome, he's got horrible dyslexia. He's really struggled with writing all of this. And now he's writing, this entire book series.
Amazing.
And then I just read the edited version of it. And I'm like,
it's incredible.
Now I'm impressed because it's that good.
Because it's good, yeah.
Right? Like at first I was impressed because you're my son.
You're mommy.
Right, yeah. And of course, I think he's the best kid in the whole wide world.
But now, no, it's incredible. Some of the things that
was genuinely that phenomenal. And so seeing him kind of grow into this manhood, and these things, he's going to start teaching in the co-op, writing stuff, and he's doing all these different things. And it is,
very
so exciting to see.
Done very well with it.
Yeah.
Jennifer brought up a good point. Love having adult children. Feel like it's a reward of many years of hard work. Our relationships as adults have been wonderful. That's amazing. Yeah. And I mean, that's the other part of it too, is I think there's a lot of fun in like you said, having those adult children. It's a completely different relationship. And, but yeah, it's a reward when your kids actually want to be with you, want to talk to you. We get to talk about this with our doctor all the time. Because he's got two girls who
they homeschooled and
they did the whole thing, and they're adults and they're both married now, and
live on the property.
They actually live on his property, and they have incredible relationships with him. So you see that, and it's really neat. They have a desire to want to get together with their parents and do things and things like that. So that's all very exciting to build that. That's something that you build from obviously childhood,
but it really does really does stand out. I feel like with our girls now, I see things and I'm like, these are going to be problem areas if we don't deal with them. And I don't really know how to deal with them, and it's going to be really difficult, but I see them and I'm like, I know what I want the adult years to look like, Lord willing. So I see that as an area that we need to focus on, or it needs work, it needs something, and it's difficult. It's not easy, but I don't know. I think growing is just such an interesting process, right? Jennifer here said, my daughter is 14. We thought Christian counselor. We homeschool, and I'm thinking she needs other adults to work things out. Do you have any adult mentors for your kids? For us, it really is a small circle. It's us, certain family, because we don't believe in just sending our kids off to spend time with family just because they're family. We grew up that way, and
it's horrible.
It's not what we believe in. So they've got great relationships with people within the church. Tachi, you're one of our kids' favorite humans to hang out with. Jennifer's been here. They love that. Julianne, you guys as well. Shaquan, I know our son, he loved when we would do Bible studies all together, and you're always just so insightful with your thought process and stuff. And I know my kids learned a lot from that. And so it is, they have some.
Our girls have Sabrina. I know
Sabrina
Lily goes to Sabrina a lot. Gigi, now that she's getting older, I'm sure she will too. So, I mean, but I keep it, I guess to say, keep it in a tight circle. I wouldn't just put them around, even if they're Christian adults. I mean, obviously, if you have
what you're influenced by is really important.
Keep your circle tight, and I think that's very important, because now that I think about it, they do. They have people that they can go to, they and talk to other adults, but they're all in our inner circle, so to speak. We don't. I don't think that I'd want the influence of anybody else outside of that. So just be careful.
And the same thing with their friends, like their friends that they've made throughout the co-op and just church families and things like that. Like, influence is so big for all of us. I mean, even adults, like what you're being influenced by, that's what you're watching, what you're listening, what you're reading to, who you're hanging out with, what you're looking up to, whatever, like that's really, really important. And so really focusing on that with our kids, especially as they got older, it's always been something we've protected. You know, our girl's Lily getting older. We have one place that if she would like to go and have like a part-time like work experience.
Yeah.
We have one place that is on that list.
Yeah.
And she knows that. We've all been very clear about it. Like if you want to go out and do something, we're okay with that in this specific situation. It's because we know the people really well. They have the same values and morals as we do. They would hold to the same line, you know, whatever. So all of those things are really, really important, I think. Like Julianne said, parenting does look different in the teen years, in her opinion. Preteens and teens want to start questioning more. They're not trying to push back to go against us. It's important. It's a part of their development to question and to gain understanding. And I think that's what's so huge. Like we hit this point with our son when he was a preteen where he wanted to look at other religions, right? And I think for many, that's like, no, like I don't want you to do that. But for him, it was, he wasn't trying to go against us and what we had always taught him.
They have questions, and
he wanted
to
know,
not
right?
Be chastised for their questions. We need to not worry, you know, that they have questions. I think it's good that they have questions. It's answering them and showing them how you get to that answer. I think is what's important when it comes to that. Excuse me. Still can't get rid of this cough.
I have to go get you on this cough.
I know.
We didn't bring him in here. Because everybody has questions. And I think that's it. If you're not that safe space for the questions and how do we find the answer and how do we look at it from different angles, they're going to go to Google, they're going to go to friends, they're going to go to other people, right? They're going to go somewhere. And I would much rather our kids, you know, have that and know that they have that safe space in us, even when it's something that they're like, I don't know, or, you know, it's kind of uncomfortable or whatever, like they have that safe space and that way to do it. We used to do, I started with the girls where we have little just like Dollar Tree notebooks and we write notes back and forth to each other. So some of those things that like are kind of uncomfortable and you maybe don't want to talk about it like face to face, but like you want to ask or you want to question or this really hurt me or this bothered me or whatever it is. We have these notebooks. We only talk about it through the notebook. And so each day,
I think that's a great way to open up communication with your kids is through the little notes like that, because it's a lot less awkward for them.
And Lily and I don't even use it anymore. Like we use that as like a stepping stone.
And that's what helps is getting to that point from the notes. Then it gets to actual communication. It's not as weird. It's not as awkward. You've already been there. You've already been down that road. So that's a great way to bridge that.
Yeah.
If there's a gap there.
Yeah. That's something we've really, really enjoyed. I love that we answered the one question and then kind of got to cover some fun stuff. So I love this question here because we get asked this actually a lot, but it says, will A&P Home Ministries have a YouTube live session? I see at all, really. I see Facebook live stream, but I don't have Facebook, would still love to follow the ministry.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have been asking about YouTube. I think that's probably something that we should move towards is putting A&P on YouTube. We originally kept it off just to keep it private. It's a lot easier to keep things private in Facebook, I think, than on YouTube. But at the same time, now that our ministry in A&P is changing, you know, it's a little bit different. It's bigger now. You know, we're serving a bigger range of people rather than, you know, we started off very, very small and we had, you know, 30 people that we all knew very intimately and that would share, you know, all the intimate details of their lives. And that wasn't something that we wanted to throw out on YouTube. Right. But now that we're not that it's any less, you know, not that it's less intimate, I suppose, but it's different than it was when we started. It's bigger. We're serving a, you know, wider range of people now. So I think, I think so.
Yeah, I think we need to figure out a way to have the teachings and questions and things like that up on YouTube while still holding on to the group for those of us, like, I don't use Facebook. I have Facebook for church, but I don't use it for anything else. It's just kind of there. I have it so that way I can be on, right? And we have a space where we can gather with the church and do stuff, with that. And so I think it is great to have that space that we can come together and gather and kind of be there with one another. But I think the teachings and stuff, we've got to figure out a way to get all of that.
Yeah, and we have so many, I think, that we can throw on there too.
Well, and I think if we could pay for StreamYard, I believe it is, we could actually stream from StreamYard and it would go to YouTube and Facebook like at the same time, and you could see the comments and everything. It's just one of those, right? Because it's like, well, then those are added costs. It's kind of pricey, right? Like, so, and that's been the thing. We've always been trying to piece together how to do it free or as cheap as possible because we don't have a budget. And so it's one of those, like, there's many great things we would love to do if we had the ability, because that would be fantastic. That would be like a great solution. But the practical actually being able, to do the things, you're like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
We're working on it. I think eventually, probably this year, hopefully we can do that. I know Travis is very interested in doing that too, and we could do live Q&A too.
And that's kind of been uses. We'll have to look that up. Resi? I've never ever heard of that. We'll have to look that up and see what we can find. And that's kind of part of it too, getting more help and more things put together and stuff like that. There's a lot that we would really like to focus on and to see come together that we've really been praying about and talking about. Those of you in the church, you guys know we've done a few lives and kind of gone into details on those things, but that is a big hope of things to do.
We do have a few videos too on if you all haven't joined the church yet and have these questions, please do. Even if you don't use Facebook, just you can always get a temporary one just for church, things like that. But we have answered a lot of these questions on there and talked about moving forward on there too.
So we have kind of a difficult situation here. What would we do type of a thing? Okay. This is from Tina, who's in Germany. She's got 6 girls from 12 years old down to 3 months. Okay. So they got a new baby. Her husband is on leave. Kids are out of school right now. She's an early bird and gets up before 6, makes breakfast, takes care of the baby. Her husband stays up late and likes to sleep long. It stresses her every single time because she's alone with the kids trying to breastfeed the baby. The older ones are trying to help out with the 2-year-old, which she's like, I get it. That's great. But like, it's not your job to have to, do the things. She says her problem is her thoughts run wild and she gets so angry and in the end, unkind and impatient. Should I just let him be and continue to sleep, or should he take more responsibility? He is a believer and we've talked about it, but still the laziness wins and he won't come out of the bed at least a little early so he could help me out. I'm praying every single day that I don't have those negative thoughts, but it's so hard.
I missed in the beginning. Is it because of work?
Well, he's just kind of she's an early bird, he's a night owl type of a thing.
There's got to be some sort of middle ground there, I think.
Which is fine because we've always been
that way. Yeah, you've always been the early bird.
He's night owl.
Yeah, I've always been that way. Mine was
you worked nights,
because I worked super late, and that ruined me. I think because I did that all through my teenage years up into the adult years, and that just messed up my sleep schedule, and that was just what I got used to. So even not working late like that and stuff, I still had that tendency, but at the same time, my conscience could never allow me to just sit in bed all day if there was help that was needed, with the kids and stuff like that, which there is, so I would like to, I don't know, you could call me a liar, but I would like to think that I balanced it a little bit, but I think there has to be some of that balance there. I don't think that you need to be nagging on him if he is a night owl like that and he likes to sleep in a little bit. Okay, let him. But at the same time, she's obviously struggling. So you can't just you can't let that happen. So you just have to find some sort of, from the guy's perspective, I would say that he would need to find some sort of middle ground there. Get up a little bit earlier, help her out. I mean, she's clearly needs. So that's not being a biblical man if you're allowing her to get stressed out like that, and those negative thoughts forming. I'd be careful with the negative thoughts and attitude towards it, because that's certainly not going to get you anywhere. But I think, just having an honest discussion going like, hey, I know this is what you like to do. And, let's find a way that we can still allow you to sleep in a little bit later, but also get up and help me.
Well, and I think that, because I thought that question kind of stood out to me, because we were those, I mean, we have 4 kids, we didn't have 6, and our kids were a little bit further apart than hers are, but it's not that we discussed this. I think it just kind of started to happen this way because I would go to bed by like 9:30 every night. Half of our family is like, we're ready for bed by 9 p.m. The other half of our family could stay up till 1 a.m. every night, no problem. Like, so we're like this horrible mix where half of us, me, Travis, and Virginia are over there like falling asleep.
Are the worst.
You, Lily, and Olivia could stay up all night long. But it was so big when we just kind of started, where you started picking up, and you did this with Travis from the very beginning, that you would go in and you started, like, if the baby woke up in those later night hours, you kind of would come and take over that, even if it was just grabbing the baby and bringing it into bed to me and letting her nurse or, whatever.
You wouldn't have to worry about it.
You kind of picked up some of those evening things. So that way it was kind of this trade-off where it's like, okay, I'll be up a little bit earlier, let you sleep in, but you also took care of those things that came up throughout the night. So I got to keep sleeping. Right. So like, I feel like there are some things that it's a balance and it's a trade-off.
You have to find that.
I think as a woman, another thing that's really important is to go, what are the things, especially like, this is why for me, I'm huge on routines. You got to come up with a routine. And every time there's a new baby, it's a new routine. It's a new system. Like, stuff changes every time you're introducing a new little human into the family. Maybe prime time in the afternoon during baby's nap or something like that is a great time to reset the house or to do whatever it is to help you feel a little more put together. What are the things? I think sometimes we as women can be our own worst enemy. I know I'm horrible at this, because my expectation of what our morning should be like, what we should be accomplishing, what homeschool should be getting done, or whatever it is, right? Like, my self-imposed expectations of what should be happening makes me want to strangle him, because, well, it's not getting done quick enough. It's not getting done like this, right? How many times have we had that conversation? You're like, does this really need to happen right now? Yeah. Like, is this like really something that needs to happen? Younger kids helping put stuff away. I've always been like, it has to go this way. And you're like, okay, well, if somebody's willing to do the job, then however they get it done, we're thankful for it, So sometimes there's a balance in that. But I love what Jennifer added here too. She said, for years, I was so mad at my husband for this type of issue. Once I realized I was responsible for my attitude and response, things got better in my own mind. And I think that is what is so important too. The more it was some quote from someone, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, tell the positive things to your husband and the negative things to God, right? You don't want to be this just, clearly your husband, he needs something. He needs some kind of motivation, some kind of encouragement, some sort of, God's doing something in there, right? You can't.
But he needs to know too at the same time. He needs
right. You can have those conversations, but that just constant nagging, right? All of those negative things that you just want to, those are the things that we can give to God and say, Lord, you need to do something with him right now, because I'm about to go in there with pots and pans and just like the monkey, like clanging all the cymbals, like over his head. But maybe when he wakes up to kindness and love. Good morning, hon. Did you sleep well? Da, 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 whatever, right? Not just, oh, decide to join us today? Fantastic, buddy. Here you go. Like, not saying that you're doing that, but, I think it's those things like that there is a middle ground in all of that to remember. Like Jennifer said, I spent hours singing hymns, praying and quoting scripture rather than fussing at my husband, trying to find that balance of, yes, there's honest, open communication. Yes, share your struggles. Yes, do those things, but you're not going to be able to fuss him into
right
what you want him to do. So there's sharing, there's talking, there's being open and doing that. And that's not necessarily just going to fix it right away.
Yeah, I think that's hard on both sides, but I think especially on the wife's side that, you need to fit into, like you were saying, this box and do it this way and be here at this time. Like you're not his boss. Like you're not like that's not what it is. You're married. And while he's got a huge responsibility himself and he needs to understand that. And so I'm not taking anything away from that, but I know on the other side, any of that anger that, just trying to force your ways on him is not going to do anything but cause more trouble. But again, he needs to know your struggles. Because he might not understand. He might not understand how what seems obvious to you is not necessarily obvious to a guy. He could be thinking everything's just fine. And you're sitting over here freaking out and he's like, what? I thought it was okay. Yeah. And okay, I'm dumb. Treat me in like I don't understand truly what I'm doing. So maybe you can help me understand the situation a little bit better. You're not gonna help him understand by nagging or getting angry or anything like that, but by being kind, loving, encouraging, and just having open communication with each other.
And I know important. For me, I really, and I'm not saying everybody has to feel this way, but I really felt like there are many things that they're my job. They're my duty. And sometimes when all the kids are little and all the things, it's you're in the trenches, right? Like it's a lot going on. I changed all the diapers. I nursed all the kids, right? So like I was tied up for all of that stuff. Like there's a lot of things that I did all the things for, regardless of what time it was, right? Like that was my job. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm doing. I refuse to let you even know how to work our new washing machine when we got it 6 years ago or whatever. Yeah. And then you had to learn how to use it because now I have foot surgery. Right. But, for us, it was like, for me, I just thought it was really important that like, there's certain things that like, these are my things and my duty and my responsibility. But then the things that, why is Alan calling me? The things that I was like, okay, but if you can take care of this and make sure that this stuff is done, that really helps me. So that way I can focus, on these things over here. And so that was really, help you. There's like a cat hair or something on you. I just happened to see it, but those things like that were really, really helpful.
Sorry, I'm just making.
And I think do you want to text him and just ask him if everything was okay? Sorry, my brother's calling me. It's kind of weird. He's at work, so he doesn't normally call me from work. Like Jennifer said, she spent decades praying for her husband and for their marriage. And this past year, God did amazing things in his heart, and our marriage is amazing for the first time. They're getting ready to celebrate 30 years of marriage in June. And I think that's what it is. It's, it doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes I think we end up making, idols out of it, right? Like our home should run this way. Our marriage should look this way. Our parent, right? Like it's one thing to have like goals and like, know the bar and try to get to it and get to it. But then it is that sometimes it's, what are those things that you're expecting? Are you like right now, I don't even want to talk about the status of my house, right?
Sorry, I'm back. I don't know.
Yeah. I had surgery. You were killing it. We all got the flu and felt like death. Our poor housekeeper we hired has been sick. It felt like that. So we told her not to come over at first because we were sick. And then she couldn't come over because then her family got sick. So it's like all of these grand plans that I had going into surgery of we had the house clean, everything in order, everything done. It's all completely crumbled. Everything's a mess. Nothing is to what I feel comfortable at.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable either. It was driving me nuts being sick and not being able to do it.
It's miserable. And it's all of that. And it's like, I want to get down on myself. I want to be frustrated. I want to go out there and just like steamroll through everything and yell at all of the kids. And why is nobody and and all of the things. And like, why can't someone just step up and fix all of this for me? Why? Right? Like, is it so much to ask? Right? You have those moments. It's like, why can't this happen? It's like, well, maybe it is what it is. And maybe we'll get there. We didn't get into this mess in a day. We're not going to get out of this mess in a day. And little bit by little bit, whatever, we'll get there, right? Is it really the end of the world if the floors don't get mopped today, if this doesn't happen today, right? If we don't check off every box on our homeschool list? Our kids' homeschool plan this month is do things you feel like you want to do, right? Like dig into the things that you want to dig into.
Yeah.
That's what we're at. So, hey, did you pursue the things you're interested in and have fun playing with your siblings? Awesome. Right? Like that's our goal. That's what we're doing because that's what it calls for right now. And you know what? Maybe next month will be different.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Hopefully. Right. But right now it looks like this.
Some other disaster next month. But we're finally our house is getting put back together. So don't worry.
But it's just that process, right? Yeah, where you're like, I mean, when we're sitting there and it's like,
you're just having to watch everything pile up. Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah. And then our dishwasher was breaking. And then this, right? It's like, all the little things start piling up on life that you just.
Responded, so just make sure everything's okay.
Okay. It's just really weird that my brother would call me.
Oh, yeah. Everything's fine.
Oh, okay. He doesn't normally call from work. So that's just kind of weird. So anyways, hopefully that helps. I don't know. I know we've kind of talked in circles on that one, but hopefully that can at least lend some assistance because I know that can be so difficult and so frustrating. And I think remembering that you can't control anyone else. You can only control what you do, your attitude, even by if I'm having a bad day and I'm in a cruddy mood, you're automatically going to be in a bad mood. Right. Like, and so I think when we realize as women, like it is our job to set the tone of the home. And so if I get up and I'm on it and we're doing the things and we're having a good day and we're making the best of it, right? Like, that's why I'm obsessed with this idea of just seeing life is lovely and it's just going to be awesome. And, but I'm like, am I not the most obnoxious?
Oh, yes.
Birds are chirping. The sun is shining. Come on, everyone. And you guys are like, seriously with this? Like,
and that's what somebody even remember that comment that you got on the one on the one Q&A that we did together with the lady that said I'm was it disingenuous or something? Yeah. What did she say? Yeah. I don't forgot what she called. Oh, seems.
Is that the one that you were jealous of me and disingenuous or something like that?
I think something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, lady, you don't even understand what being with you is like. I'm like, no, she's like this all the time.
Yeah,
it does. It gets a little obnoxious in a good way, not in a bad way.
No,
but people take.
But but then we see that as such a but God moment. Mm-hmm. You struggle with really serious depression.
Sure, yeah.
Imagine if you married a you.
Yeah, no, that would be a disaster. And that's,
you'd be rotting away in like a couch somewhere, like both of you would.
I think that's probably something that attracted me to you is the fact that you were like that. So, it's something it's needed. It's just always kind of one of those eye roll things when
we'll just be totally honest. Like when he's struggling and he's really, really stuck in like a depressive rut and like a drill sergeant, I make him drop and give me 5, right? Or I go, tell me right now, 5 lovelies, 5 things that made you thankful, happy, like any sort of positive anything. And I will literally corner you and like, give me 5 things right now.
I just want to know where the jealous of you thing came from. I'm not shy. That one's still rolling around in my head.
YouTube comments, like we could
I mean, maybe I'm jealous of your serotonin levels that you can just have this natural happiness. I don't know if it's natural. Maybe you just use it to cover your issues, but
Probably.
It works.
This is how
people are like, he's a jerk.
Oh,
man. We've just been married way too long.
Way too long. Yeah. But it is, right? Like, I think it's fun when you have those things.
Yeah, it is. I mean, makes, like you said, my life would be miserable if I married somebody like me. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad I didn't.
My life would be an absolute disaster if I married someone like me, because we would have done like
I can't even imagine.
Too extreme.
I can't imagine. Ugh, that'd be horrible.
Could you imagine if I could do all the things I wanted to?
No. It would be horrible.
It'd be so disastrous so quickly.
Yeah, I think that's why.
What are those, like those like historical accounts we have of like couple, like some Bonnie and Clyde, or like just something crazy, like those people that were just too extreme together. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully that answers the question and helps in some degree. I know we had one. Sorry, I just totally shook the thing on our Geneva group, and I was going to pull it up. Okay.
You got 3 minutes left.
Okay, sorry. 5.
The thing says 3.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. What are some specific scriptures you both find helpful and turn to in times of glory, and some you turn to in times of discomfort to help guide your marriage through? Can you think of any? I feel awful whenever sometimes people ask, because I don't really have like.
No, I mean, you always go to the, the verses, 1 Corinthians, Peter, mm-hmm. You go to your cliche ones, Titus, wherever Paul talks about marriage, and the importance of it, of course. I mean, mm-hmm. that's very encouraging to see the importance put on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a hard question to answer when
I always feel like I'm more of a, like, that's why we're going to do the, like, read the whole Bible in 3 months, challenge. But like, I feel like I try to keep a good rhythm of reading, like, book by book, mm-hmm. whether it's I'm doing the whole Bible or it's just I'm going to read through this book or whatever, I'm reading through the whole book. And I feel like more so, right, because God's word is living, it is active, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like I can be reading something and lo and behold, this is going on in our lives, and you're just like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I've read this book 1,000 times and still this, stood out. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, well, sure, there's certain verses, right? Those ones, like Peter and our conduct, like, Titus we always go to biblical 100 different things, and we see those, and it's like, okay, that's great, for that certain thing. There's certain ones that you kind of like catch on and meditate on, in Corinthians, and just the outlaying for marriage, mm-hmm. and knowing that, yes, I'm here to be your helper, but you're here to serve me as the Lord came to serve. Right. You like go through those things. There's that, but
is it 6 or 7? I don't remember. 1 Corinthians.
But I think I'm more of a person that just likes to be reading full books and working through one after another. And I feel like those things just pop up at you, and you're like, oh, I never, noticed this. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 7.
Yeah, I personally think that 1 Corinthians 7 is definitely encouraging. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that would
so
probably
much.
Be, yeah.
Hey, Kylie. Yeah, some of those staple verses, I know they would they'd be good, you know, because there are some that kind of stand out that you have that you go to. And then, but I feel like I'm more amazed sometimes at whether it's our family Bible reading or it's just my own reading or whatever. We'll be sitting there and I'm like, that's the verse I needed today, you know, or the chapter or the whatever, you know, that just kind of stands out. And you're like, I'm always amazed because I'm like, I never would have gone to that regularly, you know, and it just kind of pops up.
Yeah, anytime you see instructions on marriage or anything like that, that's always encouraging because it's always speaking of the importance of it. So that's extremely encouraging.
Yes, I love Jennifer said, sometimes I see YouTube comments on your channel and I have to ask the Holy Spirit to hold me back. I don't know how y'all do it. I have started for the first time ever deleting more comments just because there are more people, and some of these things that people say, I'm just like, no, we're not even leaving that on here. Like, what is wrong with you?
No, they just have a platform that they can say whatever they want without
sometimes I like to give snarky responses back
without any repercussion.
That's why I love the ones like some that are just so blatantly mean. Like you're just being mean.
Like you wouldn't say that to somebody.
You would never say that to, like, you would never have the guts to say that to someone's face. But on those ones, a lot of them, I like to leave comments and I just say, thank you for your encouragement and insightful, you know,
thank you for your
thing today. Like,
uplifting comment.
Thank you for your insightful and uplifting comment today with like a little emoji next to it. Cause I'm like, please see that and go rethink your life.
Right.
Like, what? And then we get people that are just, but it is amazing. And I do see some of them, you know, sometimes you guys have put responses back on there and you're like, are you kidding me right now? But I think that's it, because I think on the internet, you're anonymous and you can just like say whatever you want to say and there's no repercussions. So even those ones where like people call you out on it, you see people real quick, like either the comments will disappear or they'll get quiet real quick, you know, and it's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. People are ridiculous, man. They get behind. There is a
keyboard warrior.
Yeah. You know, people get real tough behind a screen and they say a lot of things. So you just go, okay, whatever. You wouldn't say that to my face.
Well, it's the same things like I tell I'm like telling the kids this. Is that true? Like the kids do this. Well, so-and-so called me whatever. And I'm like, okay, are you that? No. Then don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
Because you know that.
Yeah. What other people perceive and their opinions. You have to learn real quick that you have to let that roll off. You can't, I mean, it does get to you, but at the same time, you let it roll off.
And some of them are, I mean, we have like on our phones, like stacks of screenshots of ones we've gotten. And we're like, what did this person say? Like, okay. I mean, some of them are kind of like you said. I mean, you see some of them, you're just like,
whatever.
Okay. It's fine. It happens sometimes. And I want to thank you guys for coming on here and hanging out with us. I mean, hopefully we've answered at least some questions. I think it was kind of nice just to have a chat. Natalie said, are you considering a couples curriculum? And I think that's something that would be really, really wise. I want to really repackage some of our biblical womanhood stuff and set it up in a way that could be used in local churches. So that way it's great when we do it together every summer, but ways that local churches could have some resources to be doing this, like literally in their space. And I think once we get that done, a couples curriculum would be something that would be a great idea and a great something to do. Because I know that is something that's really missing. Again, just like I
don't think we've really talked about it. Maybe a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I think that's something that could be really, really neat. And I do want to mention it. Gatherings and retreats are actually something.
That's one of the things
that I'm really looking forward to. I found a venue that I'm obsessed with. And I know there's a lot of us in the like North Carolina, South Carolina, like kind of in this area. And so I would really like to host something there. If anybody would be interested and want to get together. So there are things like that I'm definitely, and that's where I'm kind of frustrated. I'm telling you, I'm so sorry. I know the contentment study, we've got to start our new series. I haven't put out any videos, but this brain fog is just,
No, you
killing
just,
me,
yeah,
like
I mean,
trying to get like
take your time.
going again.
It's hard.
But it's those types of things that I'm like, hey guys, you want to come hang out? You guys want to go do some fun stuff? Like, those are the types of things that I'm like, does anybody want to come play with me? Like, let's go do some of this fun stuff. Because it is something that I am seriously considering. And I want to note here, Shaquan, I did see it, you idea up at the top, but we have Sabrina and Drew, her husband and their kids, they do need to get moved out here. They need to get moved out here for her health and for many things. But another part of it is there's so many of these things that we really want to do, but we cannot physically do all the things ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a great help, but between time difference and their schedule, all the things, like, it's so difficult. And we keep saying, like, man, to have some extra hands here to help, to have some, like, there's so many things we could get done if it wasn't just the two of us trying to literally do everything ourselves. And so that really is like getting them moved out here. And yes, her health is so important, but then having additional help, like it really all would work so well together. And if that's something, Shaquan, you suggested, like, is there a target number we're trying to hit so that way they will have enough, to get moved out here and to do this? If you guys want to chip in, if we want to do some sort of, like Shaquan, you suggested, some sort of like fundraiser or do something, I've thought of that, maybe we could make, GoFundMe and do something like that. If that's something that you all would want to do and want to do a part of, it's always that would be so huge and so amazing, because even for them, like, the whole goal is to better serve everything here, right? Like, that's the goal. That's why we want to do all of the things, but then actually getting it all to work and to fit and go in there. So Shaquan, I think that was a great idea. And if that is something that you guys would want to chip in and do, we've been working so hard. We're getting pieces put together, like bit by bit, piece by piece. But it's always just so frustrating and so hard when you see those things and it's like, we can do this. It can come together. It's just sometimes,
we could definitely get that worked out.
Yeah. And I'll do that, Jennifer. I'll look into that. Yeah, it is. It's so frustrating. From the Shema. Oh, how neat is that? I wonder if we could make some, Julian.
Stickers of the Shema.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any, but you know what? Like, we have the spread shop. Because I was thinking about that, because if we made things and did like a fundraiser, did different little things like that. But I wonder if we could make some, Julianne, that you guys could get off there or something. We could always do.
I'm sure you probably could.
Always do something like that, and they're pretty affordable. I don't think they were terribly expensive. So just shoot me a message, and if you want, and we can always like play with something with that. But I think that's it. And getting them out here, more gatherings this year, more courses, you right, more of that stuff, that just even doing things like this where it's a real community. It's real people that are there, real people that want to gather, like real people that want to dig in together. And we have the stuff online that's great, right, when we can't all be together, but then having the physical things, or the things that the resources that we can put together that your local church could use, that this local church could use, right? So we're still kind of all coming together in that way, I think would just be so exciting. And I'm amazed at how this past year went. So to see, already, kind of going into this new year, what it looks like is just exciting. And maybe we'll start to feel better eventually and like really start putting it all together and get somewhere, but one day at a time, right?
Sorry.
It's rolling.
I know. It's still dying.
Yeah. So just shoot me a message, Julian, if you want. We can try to figure something out like that. If you guys have ideas, right? Like, I mean, that's why I saw Shaquan's idea up at the top, and I'm like, man, that would be such a blessing. That would be so great. Yeah, we're thinking of doing the Bible challenge for 90 days instead of 30 days. I know we've done 30 days a couple times, and that's pretty quick. So we think we're going to do 90 this time just because we've never done a 90. So that is my goal. I think we're going to go rest for a little bit. And then I laid out in my awesome planner, I've got a couple things I got to get done today and a couple things I got to get done tomorrow. And if I can make those 2 things per day happen, we might be getting somewhere. And I know Sabrina has worked so hard, even being so sick, and she's put together lists and all kinds of things for me. And so if I can just like get enough brain power to get those things done, we might be getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. We're like the turtles starting this year. We're like just barely kind of moving along, but we're trying. We're really trying. I promise. Even if it doesn't seem like it. Awesome, Julianne. Well, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, hun, for coming in.
You're welcome.
Joining. He did when poor Sabrina is so sick and they're going through everything they're going through. And so I was like, you want to be my special guest? And he said yes. You weren't even like, oh, please don't make me go on camera.
That was this morning.
Yeah, this morning we were all struggling to kind of get moving a little bit, but it wasn't for like not wanting to be here. It was just
Yeah, it was.
It's
we were
freezing
comfy
and dark, and
talking about not being up early and doing things. That was today.
Our whole household was like not.
It's not happening.
No, that's okay. But we do have our baby sheep. Our mama sheep had her baby on the 1st, and so that like our life has revolved for the past 6 days around the lamb and how she's doing and. Little Mary Coco. She's so cute. So anyways, maybe we'll get some vlogs out here soon so you guys can see everything.
Yeah, you should.
I feel like we've had a lot that's like changed in our home lately. And it's been kind of weird to have like not shared it with everyone yet, you know? Yeah. So. Oh, yes, we will. We've been so proud. She's being such a good mama sheep. She's nursing well, and we're working with her so that way she knows that like, we're her safe space and we can come in and love on baby, and like
she's doing a lot better now.
Yeah. She's been a lot of work, but I'm so proud of her. She's doing so good.
Yeah, she is.
And the little baby sheep, she loves the Great Pyrenees, so we'll look out. Sometimes she's like
snuggling
up with them.
Like last night was adorable. She was just hopping. They were running, and she goes and runs with them, and she's just hopping along with them. It's the cutest little thing. And she's still got like her little like umbilical cord, like that's drying up, like hanging off of her belly. You know, so like cute. She's so tiny, and she's adorable though. It's the cutest thing ever. How many days old now is she? 6 days today. 6 days, yeah. So precious. Yeah. That's why I still think it. That's why it's still crazy. We got 2 more days. So what? Monday would be the 8th day. Yeah. That would be a Passover. Right. That's the other thing. Right. That was like every time I see that, thinking of her. Yeah. Now I'm like, my goodness, I can't even imagine, because she's the cutest, sweetest. That should be our Passover series this year. We can do a whole just like biblically. You took this lamb, you brought it in, and we're sitting here watching our baby lamb and just talking about that. Like, could you imagine having to slaughter this, right? Having to do this, and like, they're so sweet. The propitiation of Christ. Do we not understand how huge this is? Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, if you guys want us just to live stream the baby lamb outside, just do that. I got that big comfy egg chair before surgery. And so I keep telling him and our son, like, can you guys just carry this massive egg chair out to the pasture so I can just sit here and watch? You should get a camera out there, put it on the barn, and do a live feed of it. Yeah. Yeah. Just little Mary Coco. Yeah. Be cute. Yeah. Anyways. So that's what we've been up to. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I think we've got a lot of great ideas and stuff that we've been talking about here. And so excited to see just what the Lord provides and opens up here in this new year. And we will, Lord willing, be getting stuff together so we can kind of get moving a little bit here this next week. But you're very welcome. We're trying. Thank you all for being here. You guys enjoy your week and have a beautiful day. And we will see you all whenever we do something here soon. Oh, yes. I love that. Really enjoyed doing the HMH homeschooling the last months. It would be awesome to meet up in the North Carolina area. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have plans. So. Oh, it's happening. Well, I would say Heidi has plans. Heidi always has plans. We'll see you all later. Bye, friends. Bye, everybody.